SMT Nation, we back. Nation, there are growing concerns that T-Mobile is getting distracted, and T-Mobile is starting to move a little bit differently. Let's cover that here in today's video and discuss why someone might believe that T-Mobile is kind of sort of losing their focus on what they do as a company, primarily being a mobile network provider and a fixed wireless service seller as well. They seem to be putting their future eggs in the home broadband basket through wireline, right? With rumors of a deal and agreement with Tillman Fiber Company and T-Fiber possibly expanding. But what I want to make sure I mention today here, folks, is T-Mobile still has work to do on the wireless network, but they may not be seeing the return on investment in it, and that might be why they're kind of shifting their focus in other areas. Anyways, I'll be sure to link the article for you here. Light reading, Mike Dano. Got a revamp, nice looking appearance now to the web pages. Very nicely done, light reading. Anyways, link for the article in the description. Also in the description are ways to support us. If you appreciate the content here of the channel, there's ways to support us. Links are in the description. All right, so T-Mobile is in discussions with Tillman Fiber Company to start selling fiber, right? So they've got the pilot going on in New York and Manhattan. They've also got a couple of markets in Colorado, and that appears to be part of their future endeavors as it looks like it's expanding. But they can't forget about what they do in wireless. All right, they do have a couple of different frequencies, licenses within C-band 3700 megahertz and DoD 3450 megahertz. And to my knowledge, they haven't built anything in those frequencies yet. They hold, I think, one or both of those frequencies in my market, and I know many markets across the country. And what we've been seeing is T-Mobile has been flirting with reducing their CapEx, right? Their network spending. They've been flirting with the idea of corporate emphasis focuses. So things like, stock buyback, share buyback program, dividend payments, and kind of following through on the investor side. And, now we're hearing talks of a fiber expansion, and things of that nature. But the question is what are they doing with their wireless network then? Now, what should we believe? And there's some truth to that concern. I think there is reason to believe that they're kind of sort of losing their focus. Not to the point where I think it negatively impacts their business, but they've been doing some interesting things, like laying off 5,000 employees, some of which are engineers. And besides that, the corporate focuses on the financials, right? And what we see is T-Mobile relaxing spend and trying to streamline business expenses. So we believe that they are probably not in a rush to deploy any of the new spectrum. And the return on invested capital there may be the reason why. So unless they need to deploy C-band or DoD within specific markets, I'm predicting that you're probably looking at a situation where, at least in 2023, or not even that near term, probably 2024, T-Mobile is probably not going to be building out, with the exception of maybe top 5, top 10, at best, top 20 markets to get additional hardware on their tower sites. And at that moment in time, if there aren't any sites that haven't received fiber capacity upgrades, they'll be getting 10 gig fiber circuits. All that is CapEx intensive. They just climbed basically all their tower sites in the last 3 years. Upgraded with the N41, upgraded the N71, did all of those types of things. And, you got Sprint keep sites and conversions, and all of that kind of calculates into this. But according to their network president, Ulf Ewaldson, he says some initial deployments early next year. My expectation is those will be sparingly completed. And those are going to be in limited places. So not only limited build, but limited places as well. I remember they don't hold those spectrum licenses national. So they're all basically supplemental considerations. So if the network is congested in certain places, they have high market share. Obviously, they've got T-Mobile Home Internet now kind of in the fold. they're probably just going to be looking at it like, look, the 2.5 gigahertz N41 piece is the basis of our capacity, and we've got this extra spectrum in our back pocket in case we need to address congestion or heavy usage. And I'm telling you folks, if you got a 100 or 200 megahertz speed test in these places, they are not going to upgrade those yet. They're going to wait till things get bad, you know, and they're going to maximize their efforts. And of course, the reason why they have that spectrum is they'd rather not densify. You know, T-Mobile is one of those companies that doesn't do their own networking. They don't have their own field engineering team, right? They send out Nokia and Ericsson, companies to do those, the brand vendors. You know, they have people that will go up and upgrade these sites and manage these sites, right? And they've minimized their engineering team. So you've got all these things in play. Yes, folks, I do believe there is a little bit of shifting of focus by T-Mobile to other things, including possibly purchasing US Cellular, including trying to destroy Dish, including fiber distraction. I wouldn't call it a distraction, but it's the next thing that they want to kind of look at as an option for their business. Because, folks, the maturity of the wireless industry is clear and evident. It's really hard for them to grow beyond probably 2023. They'll still grow, but without free lines, how many lines are they truly adding, right? And if you look at their T-Mobile home internet churn rate, it's pretty high. You know, there's people who want it, and there's places where it can go. But now Verizon's in the fold, and they offer up probably a much more reliable service. You know, they've got a dedicated QCI and quality of service, those types of things. T-Mobile does not. I mean, there's a lot of factors in here, and I think T-Mobile's doing what's best for the company, but it has to be said, they are looking at other things and other ways to monetize and create revenue streams. And they're just simply not going to be looking at the typical mobile user and that base as ways to truly monetize, because that's more expensive. There's other ways to make money, and they could do it in a more efficient fashion. Tell me what you guys think of this and my take. What do you think of the possible shifting in focus by T-Mobile? Do you have concerns? You know, I'm not overly concerned, but I understand what T-Mobile has going on. I just think it's the natural progression of the business. And, you know, we're going to have to pump our brakes and expectations on C-band and DoD. By the way, I really hope they do build it. At least in my market, they could use it. N41 uplink is trash. After about a half a mile, it is really drops off. A very precipitous throughput fall. So if they were to use a much more superior spectrum asset like DoD or C-band, the uplink experience would be great. I just don't think it's coming to my market anytime soon. I'm not expecting C-band or DoD until the end of 2024, maybe 2025 in my market. Their network is fast here. All right, why would they give it attention that's unneeded, right? But tell me what you guys think. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.